Alright, we are back with more Factorio. Here we go. I am Pax. And yes, we are continuing here with our playthrough of Factorio Space Age. And we're over here on Fulgora. We are doing our first research here, and with the electromagnetic science, hopefully getting the Tier 3 quality modules. And we want to set those up today, hopefully. But I also want to do a lot more stuff in terms of the recycling, and I need to get this stone furnace going again so we can eat the stone that we are producing from our scrap here. And I realized, yeah, we probably don't need so many robots, so we're gonna make a small little change to the build and just have one thing of this, sure, of those, and get our heavy oil here. Okay, good. Yeah, we don't need so many robots. And also, I generally was kind of feeling not super happy about how much space the mall takes up, and I decided it's time to maybe start using some bots and logi bots and go for this. And I want to, yeah, use the selector combinator actually. So I also want to try to build a few assembling machine 3s here. So let's just jam what I have in there. And we'll change this to, for now, to make me some selector combinators. Oh yeah, new technology here. And hopefully there are some, I'll take all my deciders. Some red circuits maybe someday. And yes, we want to probably move the rocket silo here. Oof. All right, let's see if we can move this now. All right, we got some of these, that's good. And we have some of these. Okay. Alright, that's all we can do for now. And I think that that's fine. So I want to move this roboboard a little bit. Let's put it up here. Oops. Okay, so the idea of what we want to do, and I have a blueprint for it, but I'm just going to build it by hand and talk about how to make it. And first thing is we're going to use the roboport to measure the contents of our logistics system. Let's add a bunch more storage here as well. And there is this one little issue with sometimes there's like a negative number here, and that can mess us up. So we're going to just have a decider combinator first to say just output the positive numbers only. And then we want to make it negative. So we want to subtract the contents of our logistic network from the requests that we want to make. So we're going to make a little arithmetic combinator here that just makes everything negative. And then what we're going to do is create a assembling machine that uses the set recipes to do the things that we want to do. So I'm just going to start it off with this. And so then the idea is now that we will take the requester chest here and request the items that we need. And then because we're going to be using the set recipes, whenever the recipe changes, there might be ingredients left over, and so you need to get rid of them. And so instead of just putting things into a passive provider chest, we're going to put it into an active provider chest. That way ingredients and everything else will be removed. And so now we just need to tell this thing what to make. Okay, and so we're going to say, like, put a combinator here and say, like, we want to make the level 3 assembling machines, and we want to make, selector combinators and decider combinators, just for examples. So then we'll set the amounts. So just say like 20 of these, 20 of those, 50 assembling machines, something like this. And this will be like the things we want. And so what we want to do then is compare what we want to what we have. So we're going to put the contents here of the roboport network into our decider combinator here, and then again we're just going to say each greater than 0, output each. And then finally, this is then where the selector combinator also comes into play, and it's pretty useful. Because one of the issues is that it messes up because it takes some time for it to load the items into the machine before it starts working, and if it changes before it starts working, it'll just never do anything. And one of the modes of the selector combinator is the random input, and it's not really, it's good that it's random, kind of, but like the really important thing is actually the update interval. So we can set this to something like 300. This is actually in ticks, and so 300 ticks is about 5 seconds, 60 ticks per second. And so this will just hold the same output signal for 5 seconds, and that way it just kind of stays, there's this hysteresis that keeps it locked on the same mode and for a little bit of time. And so we're going to use that to set the recipe, and then we also want to read the ingredients. And so we can then use the read ingredients to tell the requester chest what to ask for, and we're also going to trash unrequested, and we're going to say set requests. And so this way the combinators here can tell us what to build that we need in our logistics network. Okay, so now it just picked up the assembling machines, and then we're also going to just pull things off of the car bus here, and it should try to build things, but like it couldn't build any selector combinators because there wasn't, or there aren't any decider combinators. And maybe this is a little bit too, 5 seconds is a little bit too much. Let's do like 20 seconds. Too little, I mean. And so we'll just make this hysteresis value a bit longer. So now it's going to just stay on the same object for 20 seconds. And if it can't do it, this will change to a different random input, potentially, and try something else. And so that way, like, the chain of things doesn't always fall short. And we would like to also create this with some quality modules. So let's go over here and grab some quality modules if I can. Something like this is fine. I don't need that many. Let's also just make sure we get as much high quality stuff as possible. And we'll upgrade these as well. Put our good modules in the right places here. And I think the other good place to put them for now, at least, is the accumulators. We need a lot of good quality accumulators because they're like way better. Speaking of that, we probably should try to make more accumulators. Okay. Let's try to get more and more accumulators everywhere. Probably need more substations out here. Let's see, can we do this? This. And we can also try to upgrade as many as we can to higher quality, and slowly make them better and better. So we'll just make all these actually uncommon if we can, or rare, and whatever we get we'll replace and hopefully get better. Okay, good. Okay, so this is maybe kind of working, but what I would like to do is I actually have also this blueprinted. So this is my blueprint for this, and we're going to make a couple more for our mall. And what's also nice about the blueprint is I have these combinators built in, which have all the kind of requests already planned out here a little bit. And so this way we have all the rails. I'm going to take the rocket silo off and build that separately. And then should have these. Okay. And it was designed for a bit better the quality modules, which we'll get hopefully today, but just put the level 2 ones in. And now we're building some stuff here. Okay, and then there's one other little trick I wanted to add, which is that, well, if we accidentally don't connect the RoboPort to the system, it would start building just nonstop. And there is a simple way I came up with to make sure that it is connected to the RoboPort, and what I'm going to do is add another output here, which is just going to be a flag, the cyan signal here. And so this sending the signal out just tells the downstream that we are indeed connected. And so now the decider combinator is actually going to check for the cyan signal. And since we've made it negative, we're going to check to make sure it's less than 0. And so we want that to happen here. And this way, just like the cyan signal will gate the outputs to the commands for setting the recipe. And so now you see that since this one's not connected, nothing's going through. But as soon as we connect them up, and well, we have to wait for this to, update its cycle, it should start the rest of them to build stuff. Cool, yeah, so then now they're all building a couple of things at a time and switching to the different recipes, and now giving us all the stuff we could want in our little mall. So we definitely also want to make much better recyclers, and I'm going to just even do it like this. So I'm going to use the storage chest there, so that way in case we pick any up, they'll come back here, and we're going to set the inserter to determine how much we want in terms of the production. But that's good, and then we might get some higher quality ones. We also want to get higher quality of these, so we can do something similar here. So let's just shove quality modules in here actually. And I think let's move this beacon over here. And dot dot dot, and same kind of thing where we're gonna put everything into here, into a storage chest, use the filters, and use logic to make sure that we cap the supply there. So this will be enabled only if the EM plants are less than 20, let's say. Okay, good. So yeah, just trying to get quality stuff going here as much as possible. And yes, so then this mall situation then saves us kind of a lot of space here. So we want to clean up a lot of these things, and actually all of these. We're going to make one also for the belts and stuff. So let's just clean all this up, and now we can clean all this up as well. We don't need this. Just save some space. So much space we'll save from using this like logistics mall here. There we are. Okay, so we will keep the regular belts going, since that's a base, kind of a very base ingredient, as well as it goes onto the car bus. So we want that, and we'll do the same thing with the RoboPort here. So we have a RoboPort right there. We'll just grab that one and tell it, say like, give us everything we want here, and we'll make another foundry here to make the other belts. But again, we're going to just use logic to make everything we want. So we're just going to basically copy this thing here and put it back down right there. Then we will change this to be the foundry one. There it is. Okay, so then we can make red belts, we can make blue belts even. I don't think we even made blue belts yet, so. Then again, we just want to set the green wire into the chest, make it say set requests. We want to set recipe and read ingredients. And then we'll set the red wire from the selector combinator into there. And of course it's not working because we have the flag. We need to connect the red wire here. And we should see it eventually turn on. Okay, but we do need the lubricant to, of course, make the blue belts. So let's make a little lubricant build here. I guess this works, right? Right there. All right, okay, yes, there. There. All right, we're still struggling with power. Yeah, so let's get this lined up and put the lubricant there. Cool, and maybe this needs some speed modules. Okay, so that should be pretty good. And so yeah, so it's trying, but sometimes it doesn't quite get the ingredients fast enough and it doesn't make progress. But you know, since it's just small stuff, it's so idle all the time that we don't really need to worry about, you know, the throughput of that stuff too much. So, all right, good. Yes, we have our mall pretty much set up here. And also, I think I wanted another one of these for stone. And yes, we need to build like a lot more circuits here. So I'm going to move these as well. And since we've cleared out a bit of room up here, we're going to make some more stuff up here. So we're going to go with red circuits and green circuit, copper cable, yes. And prod them, I guess. But yeah, our electricity is very fragile, so we need to be careful. Let's see if we have some decent efficiency modules too. So we'll start trying this as well. And oh yeah, we want the speed modules. We don't have those yet, so let's make speed modules. And this. And we'll just do this, I guess. Well, or let's see, how are you doing? Do you have science packs? Okay, let's send you back and try to get this going with science again. And we should be doing okay over here. And we should be cranking out a bunch of higher quality tier 1 models at least. So let's also upgrade the lab modules. Make those tier 3. Wouldn't mind like another layer. I don't think we have any more labs, right? Just build some labs real quick. All good. We'll get more labs. We'll get better modules in them. And eventually I want to do a bunch of other stuff. Like we need probably to upgrade the circuits. We do have a good number of these electromagnetic plants here still. So I think let's consider upgrading the blue circuits first. And possibly making some more red circuits over here. So let's do this real quick. So this will be the red circuits. And we should really start going for productivity now because we now have the recyclers and it's generally more efficient to build things up and then with productivity and then recycle the highest tier things down. Sure. And let's see here. We want to clear this off a bit. So let's go ahead and just delete all this now. I think it's fine. It's close enough. Okay. We'll need definitely more throughput here on the green circuits. We need to make more green circuits too to keep up with this. Okay, good. All right, let that go. And I think the other thing I wanted to do is make more foundry stuff maybe over here. I think that's right. Let's see, this will go, oops, nighttime. Okay, so this will go through here. And like this, then like that. We can get these power poles back here. And we can do things like make pipe to grounds, we can make regular pipes, we can make concrete, and let's make iron sticks. Yeah, so we can make all this with the foundry really efficiently, or productively really. Oops. And we can flip this. Oh my gosh, I keep forgetting that you can do that. Okay, and so this will be go on. We need you to take off and go on. And pipe to grounds. Okay, let's do it like this. Actually, let's do this one as pipe to grounds. That one is sticks. Sticks go on. Pipe to grounds need to pull off pipes, but they just go into the robot network. There we go. Well, we can get rid of this then. And we want to make some more green circuits. Green. Power pole. And I guess we'll just do productivity. But yeah, the issue is a little bit that we also need a lot more electricity. I've kind of changed the solar panels a tiny bit to gel a little bit better with the train tracks. So the issue was that the substation should go here for the square grid, but the turn is in the way, so I moved it out diagonally 2 tiles, and this way it kind of nicely will jam on top of the rails without too much effort. And we need to just keep plastering down solar panels, and we also want to probably use the EM plants to start making all the mall stuff, but I think we'll come back to that later. How are we looking over here? I think kind of okay. Looks like we're making blue belts and stuff. That's pretty exciting. All right, and over here, like the mall stuff seems to be working a bit. You know, we're a little bit short on supplies, but that's okay, I guess. Okay, now, well, you really need to tackle the rest of Fulgora, and what I want to do is set up all the system for recycling. And you know, we played a lot of Pyanodons, and there we realized, of course, that if you know, have these builds that have multiple outputs, then you have to put in the effort of deleting the byproducts, so that way you can maintain, you know, the throughput of the main products that you desire. Here, of course, we're making everything from the scrap recycling, and so we have all these byproducts, and so to make it work, we really have to essentially delete everything. And so we're going to set up a system for all that. So like the first main things you need to do is you need to recycle low density structures, we need to recycle blue circuits, and we need to recycle up here like this, the gears. So this is just necessary to make the base work, but we're also going to be doing upcycling. So we're not going to just be deleting things, we're going to be making them higher quality. And so we want to then just have a quality filter here, just take all the high quality stuff and we'll just shove it into a box. All right, good. Yeah, so now we're making some higher quality material here. Okay. And yes, there are a lot more things to recycle, of course, but again, what I would like to start doing is what we call upcycling. And I think, again, we'll build a little design by hand that I've already blueprinted, but let's walk through the build. And basically, like, the best way to make higher quality items is to use productivity as much as possible. Let's see, do I have any better these? Of course. Give me some of these. Give me all these. Let's see, probably want to try to use our good modules on the science, and I guess on the supercapacitors would be good. All right, so we want to build an upcycler here again, and we're going to again use the selector combinator and circuits to switch the recipes, so that way we can make the high quality gears and change the quality, right? So we need some logic to change the quality. So basically this inserter is just gonna put into here, but once we change the recipe, we need to make sure that the assembling machine can empty out the old contents, or else it's never gonna switch. So we're just gonna make this little loop so that the ingredients can go backwards. And over here, we're gonna put the outputs. So we're gonna use a filter and say, we want gears of any quality. And this one will just be the opposite, so we'll blacklist all the gears. So we want the ingredients here and the gears in the back. And then we're going to set up a recycler, of course. And go something like this, right? Yes. All right. And so we again want to decide whether we want to recycle the gears again, upcycle them. And so I'm going to just have a decider combinator monitor this box and say like, okay, for any item that's greater than some threshold, let's say it's 400. So once we accumulate 400 gears of any quality, we're going to output that item with a 1. And then we're going to say set filters on this inserter. So then we'll start recycling it. We want this recycler to have quality. And similarly, we're going to use some logic here to measure the ingredients and decide on how to set the recipe here. So the idea again will be we need some decider combinator to help us detect if we have enough iron. So basically we're going to again say each but greater than, let's say 500 here, and output each with a 1. So this will tell us what of the input signals are above the threshold, but this is the ingredient. So we need to turn the ingredient into the recipe somehow. And the way we're going to do that is using the selector combinator again. So how many more of them? Hopefully. So should be able to put this down. And there's another function here called quality transfer. And so we're going to select from signal. So we want to take whatever quality the iron is. So we'll see here that we get, you know, the iron, say uncommon iron gets rid of the threshold, it'll output uncommon iron. It'll be like, okay, take the quality from the iron and put it onto the gears. And that'll be our target signal. And here we also need to just output gears, so that way the value isn't 0. And then, so then if I say lower the threshold to, let's say, just to 50, we'll see that the iron plate uncommon is out and the iron gears is out. And so now the selector combinator has transferred the quality to the gears, and so it's outputting uncommon gears. And we finally again want another selector combinator to do a similar thing that we did before of adding, really it's about this hysteresis. We need it to stay on the same recipe for a little bit of time to let the inserters and everything just get enough time to put the material in and get the assembly machine running. So we're going to just say like 300 seconds here. And we might want it longer, especially if there's productivity, because we would like it to run a couple of times, because one of the downsides of set ingredients is the productivity bar will reset once the recipe is erased. And so if we don't want to lose the productivity, we might want to increase this to something a bit longer. So maybe we'll just do 1200 too. 20 seconds, and so it might eat through some of the buffer, but I think that's not a big deal. So again, we'll set this in here, and then set the output of this into the assembly machine, and we'll say set recipes. And now it is set up to be the uncommon gears, and now these inserters here can be just put into place, and they'll do whatever the recipe of the assembly machine tells them to do. So this will allow it to start making some uncommon gears, and we have this entire loop that will then go continuously until we upcycle everything to the highest quality, and even then it will start just upcycling that more and more and erasing it as need be. So this will give us a long time of upcycling. I'm going to just increase this back to 500. Maybe this is a bit too long in my opinion, so let's just do 600, like 10 seconds. And that is our design for an upcycler. Hey, all right, cool. And I also have this blueprinted in our blueprint book, so we'll have to make a bit more use of that as we go. And we want to now do another one. And here we also want to, yes, instead of, we have to go through every single thing that needs to be recycled, everything that gets produced from this. So we have the gears, we have LES, we have blue circuits. And one of the big things we have to recycle is concrete. And as you can see, it is slow. It's so slow to recycle. But there is a little bit of a trick we can do, which involves turning it first into hazard concrete, right? So we can make hazard concrete from just purely concrete really fast. We'll give it some quality modules too. And what's good about this is that the hazard concrete will also be recycled super fast. So we'll start by just, we need our higher quality stuff get out of the way. So now, like we can recycle, 40, we can turn 40 concrete per second into 40 hazard concrete, and then recycle 25 hazard concrete per second. So much faster than what we were doing with the just regular concrete. And again, we can just build our little upcycler here. So we'll do this. Yes. And click this down. So it's parameterized blueprint. So now we want to say, okay, I want to make the hazard concrete. So the item cap is this threshold about when to recycle the hazard concrete. So we'll just say 400, and the ingredient, let's just say 500, like we did before. And in this case, we can't use productivity, so we'll just use quality. Just replace the modules. We don't have these modules yet, so we'll just replace those modules. And there we are. Another upcycler for the concrete. And yeah, this step of turning into hazard concrete, it's both better because concrete just recycles into itself. And so now we've given it 2 tries to get higher quality by turning it into hazard concrete first. And it is probably 10 times faster at least. Cool. Okay, so this is in the way, but there is one thing we can definitely just delete, which is solid fuel. We don't really have any desire for higher quality solid fuel, so let's just delete it. This will just be regular recycling of it just to get rid of it. Okay, so the next thing on the list would be steel. And again, steel is one of those things that recycles into itself and not very efficiently, so it takes a long time again to do steel. And so what we want to really do then is upcycle it, and what we can do is make it into steel chests. Yes, again, 8 steel per half second, so it goes really fast, takes a lot of steel, and now the recycling of the steel from the steel chest is also just crazy fast. And then we'll get the higher quality steel coming through here, and again we can provide for another upcycler here. Okay, and then the parameterized blueprint will tell us make steel chests. We'll say 400 steel chests, 500 regular steel, and should be all set up to go. Also kind of maybe just I'm going to put divider chests here to allow the uncommon material to go onto the network. And again, just set up the modules a little bit better because these can't do productivity. But there we go, okay. And we have it to 240, I guess that's fine. 240 is 4 seconds. Cool, so this is going to be accumulating the higher quality stuff for us. Since we need to delete it, we might as well just make it into high quality stuff. And we should be happy with having chests and having assembly machines, so we can also get rid of this whole thing there. We're almost done with the quality modules, so like, how is it looking over here? We're doing some research. Hopefully this is enough to finish it. And how is everything else looking? Production science, I realize, has become like the most important science because all of these, there's so much more of these recipes that give us productivity in all sorts of ways now. So we might even want, the scrap recycling productivity, like making processing units, making LDS, it's all amazing. Kind of need some of these things to come. So maybe let's queue those up actually next. It'd be nice to get the next tier power armor. And even, well, of course we want the mech armor, but we need to send on a lot more science before we can do that. So I think we don't need so much electrolyte, so we can change this back to this one. I want to be science, and I want another one of the supercapacitors. So let's move the science together and make another supercapacitor. And have this. Okay, but now we need to redo all of the ports and the fluids. Yeah, like this. So we want this one there. Okay, so we have to flip these around. Not too big of a deal. Okay, this and that and this. And then we need the heavy oil for this one. So we're coming in a different direction. And we need the holmium solution here. Okay, that's good. Alright, so we need to flip this around. Get the heavy oil from up here. Good, good, good. Okay, and let's get even more beacons around here just to try to reduce the energy. We could even put, I don't think we need 2 of these, so let's just make one of them. And maybe over here. It's probably fine. And we have some better ones, so you and you have a better one. And maybe I'll put the rare ones over here with the foundry there. Maybe upgrade these even. More productivity. Trying to save some energy though, because yeah, we keep running out of electricity. And can also do another round of maybe upgrading some accumulators. So maybe just do all this. Okay, 90% there on the quality module 3s. Alright, we're looking pretty good here. We don't have this running. Probably also want to put some efficiency beacons back here. Alright, just jam it there. Right, and then probably do something like this. Yeah. Make some red circuits for our modules. Okay, and we've got most of our recycling done. There's still a couple more we want to do. So we actually, since we're making gears and iron, we have to also recycle the iron. And so we'll do something similar again. And again, we can make it go a lot faster by upcycling it, and we can just turn it into iron chests. And then this needs to say iron plate. And then again, we'll have our, let's get our upcycler here. So we'll go there. So this will again be make iron chests. We'll say 400 is fine, and we'll just say 500 on the ingredients. And we'll put the higher quality stuff there. We'll actually upgrade this to a provider chest. Cool. Another thing upcycled. Yes, yes. And there's one more thing. Yeah, let's just move this one a bit. Squeeze it in here. So we want to do another one for stone. Yeah, I think this will work. So we do also, since the way we get rid of the stone that's produced is we turn it into stone brick, but then we need to get rid of the stone brick. So we want to upcycle that and do that by also turning it into walls. Yes, very good. Okay, so another little upcycler trick here, and then we'll build our upcycler machine, and we'll do walls. And again, we'll just do 400, 500. Cool. Yes. Good. I want this. Do I not have any more of this? Might be the case. Yeah, we're probably just trying to build them, but there's no speed modules. Here. Okay, we made one. Oh yeah, I have a bunch of them. Okay. Alright, there we go. Made a bunch of them. Cool. Let's actually just change this to be the tier 3 ones. Time to move on. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Okay, this doesn't use productivity, so let's change it to quality. Alright, quality, 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 and same with you. Okay, good. Okay, so now we have upcycling for iron, for stone, for steel, for concrete, and for gears. I guess we could technically make this gears. it's slightly better to make it productivity than quality. So let's do that. Let's change it back to, I need to do this for the wire. So we'll just do gears this time actually again, because it's not about this. This doesn't take very long. So we'll just throw some prod in there and we'll make it gears, and this will be just, you know, slightly better, and regular quality there. It's fine. Okay, so we'll have the fast thing, but then for the higher tier stuff, we'll use the productivity, get a little bit more bang for a buck. And there's one more thing we need, which we don't need to upcycle, which is the ice. Well, all right, so that is not even everything, but that's the kind of high throughput stuff that we just want to get rid of as quickly as possible. And so let's get the pauses for the cars going back a little further there. And let's see, all this can go. This is now retired. Goodbye. Okay, good. So that is a huge upgrade to our base. And this is out, so that means it's time to also now connect here the few more recyclers. Let's see, how can it go? Okay, let's move this one and put it there. So that's our one that has the storage chest in case we have junk scrap in our inventory. And what we'll do, yeah, we need to set up the train here to start actually providing the scrap. So let's do our kind of standard thing here. All right. And I know that my bots aren't really working because I don't have much energy for my power armor because it's all powered by solar panels. So I have to do a lot more by hand. And we want to make a lane balancer, and there's a pretty easy way to make a 2x2 lane balancer. So there's this design, which is pretty straightforward, kind of the poor man's lane balancer, but it's not perfect. But if we put the underground here, that will only allow the inside lanes through, which is really what we want. And then we bring the other lane through like this, and that gives us actually a 2x2 lane balancer. All right, good. And now we can just shove all this stuff into the recyclers here. And we'll want to, yeah, basically replace this. So let's bring this through here, I guess. Yeah, this is good. And let's see, a bit priority left. Very nice. And then the other lane will just come around like this. And this will come through there. All right, and this lane will come here. And upgrade all of this to red. Okay, and I want to just get rid of all the stuff as soon as possible from the mines around our base. This, I guess, and keep it right. Cool. All right, good. Yes. All right, good. Now we can start using the scrap from the train. Excuse me. Gotta get out of the way here. All right, this should up our throughput a little bit. Okay, there we go. So hopefully that goes a little faster, maybe. Make this red through this. Hey, alright, we finished the quality module 3s and officially got the research with electromagnetics achievement. Alright. Okay, that should be good because, yeah, we want to get rid of these mines so that way we can put down more accumulators, more accumulators everywhere. Oops. Nope, just give me more, always. Okay, so let's now do our quality modules. Level 3 quality, here we are. And we need this. And of course we want to quality as much as possible here. And again, we're gonna do then this system of upcycling. Yeah, we want to just say like, okay, well, we're gonna just never stop making them basically, but I'm still gonna like pretend we might stop, but we probably won't. Okay. This will happen. Okay, start making our level 3 quality modules. We don't run out of electricity. Hopefully we did, but yep, that's not too surprising. See if we can continue maybe upgrading more of the accumulators. Alright, crafting our first quality model 3. Crafting with quality, another achievement here. Very good, very good. Cool, okay, yeah, just cramming the accumulators down anywhere we can and try and get it power going. Trying to save a bunch of electricity with all these beacons. But yeah, it's still hard to keep up. We're still burning pretty hot. Yeah, 60 megawatts. Alright, our mall is looking pretty good. I think we have mostly everything. Yeah, just a few more roboports and stemming machine 3s. We just don't have like quite enough red circuits for everything. And that's not too big of a deal though. Not too surprising. And okay, we have all this going. Let's now just finish the quality modules. Alright, so we want our upcycler again. And this time we just do this. Oh wait. There's a electromagnetic plant version. That's what we really want. Okay. Do that. Okay, so this will be quality module 3s. We'll just start recycling them at 100 and 100. So yeah, that's probably good. Okay, then let's see. We can't do prod here. So let's change this to B quality. Can use our better quality modules, sure. Okay, and yeah, alright, good. We already have our first one. So, but actually the uncommon quality module 2s are actually better than the quality module 3s. So we barely even care about the quality module 3s. We really want the uncommon quality module 3s. So I'm also going to make a little recycling thing for the common level 2 modules, because as we replace them, you can take advantage of them, make use of them. And we could turn this off. Yeah, I think we just forget about making more uncommon ones of these, because now the ratios are good. So this will be slightly overproduced, right? So we make 0.15, 0.3, we need 0.26 to make 0.1, and we need exactly 0.1 here. So be a good ratio to make these as effectively as possible. And I want to do something similar for the prod modules. Let's put a beacon down here as well. Beacons are probably one of the most important things to quality, and I almost want to upcycle these as well, but let's just make a bit more of them, and if I get any uncommon ones, it's amazing. And okay, so let's move this a bit. Move this. And we want to do basically the same thing here with the prod modules. And we'll do this thing again with doing this instead. And we'll have, you know, the whole, well, inserter, wire, prod module 2, less than 200, but we'll start recycling it when it's only 100. Let's get this thing down. I guess I need to force build it. Level 2 modules, 100, 100. Okay, nice. Okay, these need to be quality. These need to be quality like this. Alright, we already had, I think, a tier 3 one, right? Oh yeah, there we go. We just want to shove the quality into the quality as fast as possible. Okay, and then we need another one of these. There. And let's get another one of these. And let's put this one here. Put them here and there. Okay, that's good. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I think that looks nice. Alright, yes, maybe. Okay, but we were just lacking material, which Isn't too bad. It's not too surprising, but I think it will ramp up more and more, especially once we get some productivity from the scrap recycling. Need to start getting this built, the next ship for going to Gleva. And I think everything else is looking pretty nice. Okay, yeah, we're looking pretty strong over here. Okay, let's also, we need to make our blue circuits back again, so let's do this real quick. Here, there. Okay, make blue circuits. We will just quality these because why not? I don't know, why not? And like this, and power bolt there. Need one of these. And this. Do this. I guess we'll bring it around. We need this on the other side. Launching rockets. Okay. And this. Alright, let's get the inserters. So it'll be out, out, in, out, out. We need the other side of it. All the green circuits coming through here. Oops. Through there. And some stack inserters. Bulk inserters. Gosh, I'm never gonna get that right. Okay. And let's just then try to hook it up. Okay, there. And maybe make a few more. This. This. And let's say that. Okay, blue circuits. There we are. Okay, hopefully we have more greens. Yeah, let's change this. We got 2. We don't need that. I mean, let's make it more like this. Alright, so the last thing we need to do for here on Fulgora is, well, recycle all the rest of the stuff. We recycled like kind of the higher throughput items, but there's even more that we need to do. Oops. So I'm gonna bring this around, try to get this out of the way a little bit, and I guess we'll just, yeah. Okay, so then the idea here is we, you know, if we just had bots, we could just like measure what the contents of what's in the Roboport network and, you know, selectively decide what to recycle or upcycle. But in this case, because we have things on the cars, we can't exactly measure what's on the cars. And so I made up a little contraption to basically pull things off from the cars. The idea is to pull things off and to put them back on. And so we'll have a little splitter here, and we'll try to force everything to go back onto the cars. But if the car is completely full, then essentially some of the items won't be able to go back on, and so they'll get put onto this belt over here. So this is like basically our way of selectively deciding based on the fullness of the car if there's material here that we want to recycle. So we're going to make a bunch of these to pick out the other types of material that we might want and bring all this around and then bring it through back here, like this maybe, to be upcycled. And let's get rid of some of these. The idea then is to take recyclers, yes, like this and like this. Alright, and so anything that comes through here is just going to get recycled. Good. Okay. Bunch of these. Okay, Roboport can move. That's fine. Right. Alright, that's the plan. That is the plan. Let me do a little bit of shenanigans here to try to use both sides of the belt. So I'm going to use a splitter here to force things onto the opposite side. We can maybe do this a second time. Sure. And similarly, I think this might be useful here too. Alright, sure. Yeah, sure. Alright, so then the point is we're gonna come out to here and we're going to separate all of the uncommon things. So we're gonna go greater than common quality and send them onto some other processing stage. Now this will go into these things to be put back onto the cars, but it needs to go in circles in case the inserters miss the thing they want. So we're gonna wrap it back around. Yeah, basically if something goes by that the inserter wants, but then it misses it, it won't jam the system up. Yep. And over here we're just gonna like probably just be cramming things into a box, into maybe a bunch of boxes. And ultimately we want to upcycle more. So this will take even the higher quality stuff and make it even higher quality by recycling it, and just also making sure we have everything being deleted. So yeah, basically we now need to go through all the other stuff we need to recycle. So we need all the things that the scrap makes, as well as all the things that we recycle in the process of recycling scrap. So yeah, we need like copper, we need copper cables, we need plastic, you know, we need circuits and red circuits and more blue circuits and LDS. We need, you know, batteries, and then we need the holmium stuff. So we can actually upcycle the supercapacitors. That's probably the best thing to do, but we'll also just do the superconductors and the holmium plates just in case. And so we shouldn't have to worry about it too much. So hopefully this will work out in our favor. And if something actually backlogs, the nice thing about this is we can just kind of manually force it. So if like we do have, you know, too many copper cables, instead of forcing it back right, we can just, you know, split it and send half of it to the recycling, or even force it right, send all of it to the recycling, just to have a way to get rid of some of the things we need to get rid of. And so then now we need to think about all the byproducts of this and put it back onto the bus. And so of course copper plate is a byproduct, copper wire is a byproduct of circuits, green circuits is a byproduct of red circuits and blue circuits, red circuits are byproduct of blue circuits, all the stuff for LDS, so plastic we got, and steel, iron because that's part of green circuits. And we've kind of run out of room, but we can also just do more stuff, and we want to do all the stuff that supercapacitors run into, which is holmium, the superconductors, and also batteries. So we'll just put all this into one, and we could like use more filters if we want, it doesn't matter. Cool, and then yeah, we'll just start accumulating the high quality stuff here as well. All right, looking pretty good. Now we got all of our recyclers running, and hopefully the base is churning it out here. It looks pretty nice. Things are going, and yeah, we finally are cranking out the quality modules. So let's continue upgrading doing the quality inception here. Quality inception. Have this one. Okay, good. Quality inception, got our mall going. Let's see, we got rid of a couple things we want to put back, like pipes and inserters. Guess we need to also build the engines again. Okay, we'll do that. Have these. All right, very nice. Okay, I got rid of another one of these, another two of these. Let's move these and place them with more accumulators. Okay, good. Okay, and then I don't know, just do this, I guess. All right, our train is going back and forth. Very nice. These little islands are so funny. The train station like that. Very cool. Awesome. All right, I think though this is pretty much where I wanted to call our session, and it looks like the spaceship is here, and I do want to head back to Novice now. So we want to just turn our things off here. We want to free all the bots I have. I have tons of bots for some reason. And we want to, you know, leave. We have to leave everything, of course, here. Oh, I had a bunch of better accumulators too, so let's make sure we put those to use and upgrade even more. Let's see. Let's get everything over here. Maybe, let's see, like this. All right, good. And this, let's just jump on the rocket here. Actually, want another rocket silo. This, and let's get the beacon, make it a little more efficient. And we need the roverboard back. Travel to Fulgora Express. Thank you. All right, here we go. Leaving Fulgora. I think it's in pretty good shape. We can, of course, do a lot more stuff remotely, but we have the major things we need. I would like to get some of the modules out of here. Better quality modules and the better productivity modules there. And instead of all requests satisfied, I'm going to say item count of the science is greater than or equal to, I guess we'll just do the 2000. Cool. Okay, let's then head back home. We'll change this. All right, Fulgora Express is off. Here we go. Back to Novice. Done with Fulgora. Cool. All right, very good. Very good. Looking really nice now. And we would like to upgrade. These should be better. Just try to make better modules in places. This one. And I think maybe even some speed is justified. Let's see. Let's make you one of these and one of these. And maybe do that there and like there, I guess. So that way we get a little bit more speed, and hopefully we can we'll start seeing the power catch up as we can make more accumulators. But yeah, we're cranking it out now, I think. Not quite. Alright, but I think that's pretty good. We're pretty happy here with the Fulgora, and we can go head on back to Novice, call it a session. Alright, done with Fulgora, and I think we need to do a couple things on Novice before we head to Gleba, like nuclear stuff, so we can get, well, like it was very annoying only having my power armor powered by solar panels on Fulgora because there was no like sunlight and I ran out of power. Now I'm Speedy Boy again. So we can upgrade our power armor, there's still a couple things I want to do on Novice to upgrade, as well as I think in Volcanus we would like to start building the better belts, and so I think next time we'll do some upgrading on Novice and finish the spaceship and head to Gleba. Cool, but we'll call a session there for today. There you go. Factorio, I am Pax, and I will see you in the next video.